What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be working on the goat paddock. We need to move it because there's a problem and situation that we probably need to address before something bad happens. But my last video that I posted was about me harvesting my pumpkins, my tomatoes and stuff because the frost was coming, and boy did the frost come hard and heavy. And I wanted to show this to you. This is just a couple days later, but this is what it looked like the day after the frost came. It just killed every single thing. This whole row of pumpkin plants are just gone. Just crazy. The frost just took it out. So I'm glad I got all of the pumpkins, tomatoes, all the last few things out of the garden that I wanted to get out. But yeah, let's grab the side-by-side, a couple tools. We're gonna head down to the goats, check on that situation. So this big tree right behind me, that is the problem. I don't know if you can tell from that angle, but it is leaning hard over the goat pen that I've currently set up. And I can tell that it's moving and actually slowly dropping because a few weeks ago, I put up 2 posts to hang up a bow target, and there's 2 more posts back there. Well, the 2 posts in the back, I had access to from pretty much where the camera is at. And now you can't see right here. So that tree has been slowly dropping down closer and closer to the goat pen. And I knew when I moved it from over there to where it's at now, that this tree was leaning because of the storm. It was kind of hung up on another tree. But you know, I was gonna take that chance, and well, now I can tell it's moving. It's gonna be an issue at some point. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that today. You guys wanna come out? And we're gonna get this paddock moved to another location, probably on the far side over there, some fresh grass. My first step in setting up the new goat area, probably lay out my line I used last time. It seemed to work pretty slick. So yeah, I got this would be the rope for the 4-foot gate, and then I have, I believe, an 8-foot gate here. Then I have all of my line right here for the actual 164 feet length of fence, so I know exactly kind of where it'll start and stop. And I think this time around, I am going to put up an 8-foot gate. I think it'll make it a little bit nicer to get the side-by-side in there. To be able to pull that portable goat shack around a little bit and move it around inside of the little goat pen. And I think I'm gonna put my gate on this side, facing that way, kind of towards the house. And I believe each of these panels on the fence currently, I think those are all 8. Oh no, they're 10 feet. Oh no, they're 9 feet. 9-ish feet. Not really sure about that. So the gate will take place of 1 full panel, which is good because last time I was with the 4-foot gate, it made it uneven and it actually was not shaped like a nice clean rectangle. It actually angled in towards the front side where the gate is. So this is gonna be able to widen it open a little bit. But I think I'm gonna put the gate right here. I'm gonna run it along the same length, the same side, all the way down. So I'm gonna use these 2 as my reference. I'm gonna go ahead and place this gate pretty much right where I want it at with my stakes here. And then we can run our fence from this. they're pretty close. It's about an 8 foot, must be about an 8 foot panel then. Okay, so that's where the gate's gonna be, right here. Boom. We're gonna have one panel, turn, head that way, a bunch of panels that way. So now I just gotta untangle this and hope it doesn't get too messy for me. Not sure where the end's at. That's definitely not it. This looks like it could be it. Or that one right there. There we go. No, dang it. We'll go here. We're gonna try this. So I'll share the stake with this one. And we will head this direction. We got our first corner post right here. Try to keep that somewhat straight. Okay, so from here, we'll take the turn. We'll just head down that, kind of the same path we're currently carrying this fence on. We'll go from there. All right, third panel. I think we're gonna drop her down right about here. We'll make the turn. So we got, there's not one panel, 2 panel, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we are. So this puts us on our corner, and then we move that direction. So what I learned from last time is if I just run this around and just stake it on all the corners and assume it's good, I'm actually not like a true rectangle, and I end up being like cockeyed a little bit and the whole thing is tweaked because I'm not worrying about the angle. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the very, very end of this and I'm gonna attach it to this side of my gate. So now I know how much rope I need to at least get to this point. And then from here, I can pull this straight down and create a nice straight line. And then I can kind of tweak the rest of the lines as needed to create my nice tight corners. All right, there's our front line. There's the left side, you got your back wall all the way. We got it nice and squared up. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and go to every one of these stakes. I'm gonna drive them all the way down into the ground. And this will allow me to grab my mower and I'm gonna mow directly over the top of this line and bring all that grass down to a level that's not gonna interfere with the electric fence. Last time I did this, I used a weed eater, which kind of worked, kind of did not. It was kind of tough to not get the rope wound up in the weed eater. And then two, it was only like a 12-inch path. And I noticed I was trying to mess with the fence a little bit, trying to make it a little bit more perfect. And I ended up having to do some extra weed eating all the time, which was kind of a pain to allow for me to move the fence back and forth till I got nice and square. So I'm just gonna go and grab the mower itself. It's a 46-inch deck, center it on the line, and that should give us a nice wide path. You guys enjoying your almost new place? Yeah, buddy. Well, that almost worked perfectly. I mean, it did cut a nice clean path, but that far corner, it caught the line, pulled it up, and cut it for me. What happened is the grass is so thick over here that the line was laying on top of the grass, and it was pushed up like 6 to 8 inches. So I went in and I put in more stakes, driving most of it back down. But there were a couple spots that must have been a little too tall, and unfortunately snapped my rope. But I did get the whole thing mowed up pretty nice. We got a nice path to follow for our fencing. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up this line now. We're gonna go ahead and lay out our new fence and start standing it up. You guys excited? Yeah, buddy. One more thing I think I'm gonna do before I actually lay the fence out is I'm gonna go ahead and take down the far end where the gate is at. I'm gonna take that fence down, at least lay it down out of my way. I'm gonna hook onto their little shack, and I'm gonna pull it over here first and get it exactly where I want it, because now I can see the outline with the grass of where the fencing is gonna be, so I can get it placed exactly where I need it, place it, instead of trying to drag it into the side by side and try to make a sharp turn, and then I have to like push it by hand. This way I can drag it anywhere I want to. I get it staged exactly where I want it to. And what I want to do is park it in that back corner, farthest from the gate. That means every week I can pull it a little bit farther forward, closer to the gate, and help that grass and not killing it so much. And then I can pull it. By the time I get all the way to the gate, darn near, it's gonna be time to move the fence again. So I think it's gonna help me in the long run. So just something else I'm learning as I do this. Luckily, taking this down is pretty darn easy. Man, that was way nicer just pulling it straight in to where I needed it. All right, let's see if we can get some fence laid out here. All right, there's our gate. That's where the edge of it's going to start. This will be our first corner. And we will wrap the corner and we'll start going down the line. That's another corner right there already. Two. and our gate. All right, so since I know where my gate's gonna kind of start, I think I might temporarily put it up first. That way I kind of know where the fence needs to be at exactly, and I can build off that. So I think we're gonna open it up that way. So this first post will be right around here. There's my mowing. We'll center that right there. And that's what this hooks onto. Just need my little stand. Like I said, this will be temporary. But then we have the other side of the gate. Yeah, that kind of worked. Actually, that's not bad there. Could come a little bit less, I guess. It's actually not too bad right there. So we'll start with that. Now I can base the rest of the fence off my start and stop points and get all nice and square and straight and tight. So our first fence going in right alongside there. Okay. So I think I'm learning if I would have kept the string down, it would have gave me a nice straight line to lay this fence on, because right now I'm not perfectly straight. I'm kind of like weaving in and out a little bit. So one more thing to learn. Help me do this next time a little bit better. All right, so we did get our fence all the way around to the end of our gate. Now I can go ahead and attach the actual gate lock or mount. There we go. A couple stakes. And this can get rearranged a little bit. Yeah, we tie that off to there. All right, tie it in. Now we can actually attach our gate, and then we can stretch it tight. See where the final spot needs to be. Pretty darn close. I'll probably pull this pole quick. So I want it to be fairly snug, but not so snug that the kids have problems getting it unlatched. So I think that should do it right about there. Then as it pulls on the fence, it'll tighten up too. So I think this will do pretty good. Okay, there we go. Now we have a functioning gate. Perfect. One addition I do to every one of my corners is I got these giant fiberglass rods I throw in right behind the corner posts. And then I'm able to pull it back, throw the fence in there. Kind of keeps it nice and tight for me. I do that on all four corners. Something else I add to every one of these panels, it might be a little overkill, but there's a lot of sag in these. And these are little fiberglass rods that go down the center. You can weave it in between, and then it attaches to the bottom line and over the top line. And then it kind of takes the sag out and it really keeps it nice and straight. It just looks nice. I guess I'm probably a little particular about how it looks, so I added in. So I took all those center fiberglass rods to take away the sag out of the old run, and you can see kind of just how it looks. And now check out this run. I mean, it just looks so nice, so tight. And they're dirt cheap. I mean, it was like a couple bucks for like a pack of 10 of them or something like that. So I think that's a no-brainer. But now, yeah, we are all upright and tight. I think the last thing I need to do is make the electrical connection between the gate and the fence. Get my fence charger over here, get it plugged in and attached. Move over some of their toys, and then we're about done. This side is where the gate and the fence meet. So this is my connection point here with these two connectors. So I typically will kind of use them kind of to help tie these two poles together. And I'll cross and go around a couple times until I'm out of room. And then I can make that nice tight connection right there like that. Good to go. Figured I'd pick up the old fence, get out of my way. That'll be make everything a little bit easier to just transfer some of these toys and goat items into the next paddock area. All right, last step, get our charger attached, make sure we got all the power that we need. This is gonna go up into there, so that's not bad. Then our ground post, I'll stick about here. Oh, that's not too bad. Going in. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, buddy? You digging some rocks? Okay, I think we are good. Get this kicked on. It's flashing green. Let's check what kind of a power we got going on here. So this will be at the very end of the run because it's starting there, going around the entire side. So on this side, we'll see what we got going on. Oh yeah, 7,000 volts. So we've got full power. I think last time I had it over here, it was only hitting about 6,000. But I think it helps that I mowed that path. It's a little bit wider, got all that tall grass out of the way. Man, this nice wide gate, I think it's gonna be pretty nice to have. But yeah, just gotta pull a couple of these items in here. I feel like these goats have more toys out here than my kids do. Oh, he turned on, a little man turned the fence back on, but I could hear it clicking luckily, or ticking. All right, we are plumb full there. You get some leaves out of there? There shouldn't be no leaves, I just cleaned it. We are just about complete over here. Get them some fresh hay, and we'll get them some grain, get them to come back in here, and we are basically set. I had almost forgot about the goat cam, but I think this is gonna work pretty good here. We get the corner of the fence, and it's like a nice long shot. I think it's gonna be perfect right there. All right, I think we are pretty much set. I am gonna go ahead and get their grain while they're not over here. Because they're up by the house, so we're gonna sneak over here. We'll see if we can trick them to come down here. AJ might have saw me. Let's see what we can do. Goat, 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 goat. Goat, goat, goat. Hey, goat, hey, goat. There, goat. Goat, goat, goat. Oh man, here they come. You guys coming? Yeah, buddy. You guys ready to eat? Come on down. There you go. All right, happy goats in their new paddock, paddock number 3. Each time is getting a little bit easier, learning some tips and tricks to make it a little bit smoother, but we're gonna call it good for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll see y'all next time. Later.